I guess having done all these performances, what you begin to realise is the limitations of the body. I mean, for me, the body is a structure that is very inefficient, susceptible to disease, lives a very short lifespan, sleeps a third of its life away, has an overreactive immunological system, has brittle bones and soft tissue. The body, in the information, technological and extraterrestrial realms that it finds itself in now, can't any longer creatively cope with these things. I mean, the intensity of the information radiation, the most significant gravitational pressure now is not the gravitational pull, but the information thrust. We've got to try to cope with all this information that we've accumulated. It's not only a matter of quantity, but the quality of information. We can no longer subjectively understand the information that we're using. A subatomic particle physicist will talk of the lifespan of an atomic particle in terms of nanoseconds. I mean, a nanosecond is a billionth of a second. We're in a total abstract realm of information and data when we're functioning in this way. And for me, that's an evolutionary crisis, because if we can't subjectively understand and creatively process this information, then the ability to adapt to this extended sensory and cerebral realm is going to be a problem. Secondly, we've created technology which has precision and power that far exceeds the body, and perhaps we can no longer take an ergonomic or human factors approach and design technology for the body. Now we have to think of redesigning the human body to match its machines. And then thirdly, technology speeds up the body, accelerates the body to attain planetary escape velocity, where suddenly the body finds itself in this sort of immense extraterrestrial realm, and this further amplifies its obsolescence. So, I mean, the human body, unplugged from the protective biosphere, unplugged from this complex interacting food and energy chain, suddenly has to cope. To me, the complexity, softness and wetness of the human body would be difficult to sustain for a prolonged periods off this planet without a lot of technological paraphernalia. Actually, a strategy would be to hollow, harden and dehydrate the body. And actually, hollowing out the body is quite seductive, because then you can pack all the more technological components inside it. So we can no longer meaningfully think of a human future. We can only talk of a human past, and our human thought recedes into that past. We're at the twilight of our cerebral fantasies, and we're at the beginning of becoming components in a much more wider sensory and cerebral technological realm. We're just going to be simply components in a much greater technological system. Redesigning the body would redefine our roles. Redesigning our body would readjust our awareness of the world. To me, the mind is a function of our sensory systems, our cerebral capabilities, our particular mobility and curiosity, and our chemistry. So to me, I don't see the mind as a sort of a disembodied agent, a platonic spirit guiding the body, or a Cartesian entity that somehow coexists with the body. To me, our mental awareness is the result of our physiological hardware, and consequently, re-engineering different architecture of the body would in some way adjust our sort of awareness of the world. Mm-hmm. So to me, I see those intrinsically connected, and so to talk of a kind of psychic evolution, one cannot do that without talking of a physiological development as well. And having done 27 suspension events with hooks into the skin, I guess what you've learnt is not so much what the human body is capable of doing, or the power of the human body, because often people, I think, misinterpret these images as displays of kind of shamanistic power. For me, really, the experience was of what sort of limitations and what sort of normal physical parameters we operate within. And just as a woman doesn't get pregnant to have pain, so I don't do a suspension event to have an experience of pain. Before the suspension events used ropes and harnesses, there was a lot of paraphernalia supporting the body in space. This was always very irritating for me. It was very inelegant. When I saw around 75, 76 pictures of Indian fakirs sticking things into their skin, I was repulsed like anyone else would be. But I thought at the time, it just sort of, I guess, was mapped onto my mind the idea that if I could suspend the body in such a way, using hooks into the skin and minimising the support of the body, then the body would truly be suspended rather than supported, and the stretched skin would be a kind of gravitational landscape indicative of the forces and the position of the body. What you're doing is establishing certain sort of event parameters within which you plug the body into, or suspend the body from. And then this is no mere sort of simulation or no mere conjuring of an illusion. I mean, basically you've got to take the consequences, the physical consequences of your ideas. And I think that's the difference between, say, performance art in general and theatre in particular, is that in most performance art pieces, the artist, and you know that yourself, the artist puts themselves at physical risk, takes physical consequences for their ideas. And so this, I think, creates a much more authentic set of circumstances. And I think it becomes more meaningful not only for the artist but for the people who might or may not witness this.